As promised, when we disassemble our 5 kilo beef knuckle, we are going to use the femur and wedge muscle to create a stew with veggies in a one pot kind of deal. Follow me. We have here 1.2 kilo of Black Angus that we're going to cube up into pieces about this size. Next step, we prep our vegetables. We have potatoes, carrots, zucchini, onion.
Whole collection.
We have all of them. And we are going to cube these up into, let's say, relatively big pieces because they're going to cook in the stew together with the meat. So that's going to be good.
Yeah, and the zucchini is actually even bigger because they cook faster.
Yeah, and I think actually we're going to add them a little bit later so they don't overcook because they are much softer than the other veggies we have
sensitive.
here. They're sensitive. That's true. That's true. For this, we're going to use our large cast iron Dutch oven running on medium heat, and we're going to give it a big squeeze of avocado oil because it has a high smoke point, like 3-4 tablespoons, something like that. And then we're going to go in with our beef to get a good sear on it. And don't overcrowd here so it starts boiling, but just get them in with a little bit of space between. And then we make sure to brown them well on all sides. And that's what you want to see, nice browning, and make sure you get it on all sides because that's all the flavor that we need. And then we take them out and move on with our vegetables. We're going to hit it with an extra squeeze of oil here, and we go in with all our vegetables so we get them sauteed also. Crank it up a little bit. When they've got some nice color also, it's time to get them out. And we move on with our onion, but just a little squish more oil before we do that. And one red onion, find it chopped, in it goes to get some color. And when they start getting translucent, we make our favorite little spot here in the middle where we're going to add 2 minced cloves of garlic. 30 seconds to get fragrant, as always. When the smell of garlic is amazing, you mix that in. And then we are going to deglaze the pan with 200 milliliter of red wine. And we want to do that to lift up all that beautiful font that we have created in the bottom of the pan. When the alcohol has evaporated, we're going to go in with half a liter of homemade beef broth and 400 milliliter of Passata. Mix it well. And to that, we are going to add, I have here 3 tablespoons of salt, but I'm going to leave 1 back to taste later. So a couple of tablespoons of salt like that. A teaspoon of red chili flakes. You can dial that up and down depending how spicy you want it. Tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper. And some dried basil. And mix that in. When that's simmering, we go back in with all of our meat. Be careful not to splash all over the place. And the same goes for our vegetables. I'll use the spoon here because it's going to make a mess. And then we're just going to top this off with a little bit of warm water until we have almost covered our veggies and meat. Something like that. one of our small tricks that we always do, we are gonna put in the rinds of some Parmesan. This is gonna give a nice texture to our sauce, a couple of rinds of those, and a stick of cinnamon. Yeah. You would believe that that's only for Christmas, but it isn't. It's very good for meat dishes.
It's all time season.
No, that will give great flavor to this. And all we want to do now is bring this back up to a simmer, and then we're going to put it in the oven for at least an hour at 160 degrees. Nice and bubbly. So let's get our lid. And we're going to leave that a little bit ajar, maybe a centimeter or so we can evaporate a little bit of the water. And now we leave it there for an hour before we check in on it. A good hour, so it's time to give it a check here, see how we're doing. Let me get the lid off here. Oh, that smells good.
That smells excellent, actually.
It looks really, really good. Let's give that a little bit of a stir here to see how. And it's perfect, and the sauce is just perfect. Not too thick, you know, you don't want it to be this like a pasta sauce. It has to be like this.
Yeah.
So
True.
an in between. But let me give it a taste for salt, because that's important. No, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. We don't need any salt. I just want to check also the meat. Perfect. Fork tender. So all we want to do now is let that rest for, shall we say, about an hour. So it cools down to good eating temperature, and then we're going to have a taste. Finally, time to give this a taste, because it smells amazing and I have been hungry for quite a while now. And let me get some of the carrot here and some meat, and let's give it.
What's the verdict?
The verdict is, this is damn good. I mean, the meat is perfect. It's such a nice piece of beef, very beefy flavor. The sauce is excellent. That little hint of cinnamon in the background there, it's really, really good. This is a stew. I mean,
Unforgettable.
And your guests, they will love you for this. Served with some rustic bread to dip in the sauce, perfect.